Hello everybody, welcome back to Gelvin Valley, Farming Simulator 15. Gelvin Valley being a beautiful map created by Wild Wild Wes. We are harvesting rape in field 49. I think right after this, as we move to the next field, we'll be back to barley. You know what? I have a feeling I have a feeling that I'm gonna fill up this trailer here. One more combine load's gonna fill it up, and he only took a single round and put that in there. Maybe the crop's gonna be bigger than I think it will. So I may have to make myself... Oh, wait a second here. You know, this one was combi to pheasant. I think I took some of this and went straight to the sell point. Aha. Well, that's what I'm gonna do. Except, I don't know why. Oh, now he's stuck in the fence. Look at that. Just start an episode and the weight gets caught. I have so much more map work to do in here, I think. No offense, Wes. My tractor just likes your fence. Really likes your fence. Oh my. The combine. Yeah, it's over half, so it probably is looking for it. Don't want to run over the crop. Yes, there's no need to go down there. Actually, on a field like this, it is practically ludicrous. Oh, it's trying to go to the sell point. Well, we don't want it to do that. I have no idea why it thinks it's full. But that's a long ways over there, so I think our employee just wanted to head over there so they could maybe have an adult beverage on the job while they were delivering harvest. And we can't allow that. Oops. Not till harvest is done. Well, although, let's see. That's probably full enough. We'll send him over to empty it out, I guess. Oops. What the soup? I don't know how I fell out of it, but I did. Alright, so he's going to hit the second point, and off he's going to go. I'm going to need to help the combine, I think. Whoop, excuse me a second there. I had to turn my timer on. It tells me when I'm getting close to half an hour, and I don't even know how long I've babbled here. Just at the beginning, so I may have to... I'll only pay cursory attention to my timer. I think I can do a little better than the AI on these sections here. Let that shine in the windshield. Nice shiny green header. It doesn't appear like it's getting dirty. Although the rest of the combine sure is. Well, maybe it is. You know, I see some slight discoloration, but that might be just the model. Yeah, I definitely probably need to do some work on it. Yeah, while he figures all this out, let's go to our tractor. Make sure he gets to and from all in one piece. Past couple of episodes, I've been visiting about um, writing to this. Oh! Now! Why did you not? Oh, you know why he didn't? Oh my goodness, I'm so dumb. Pheasant pluckers. Yeah, I'll just blame the hired help here. Pheasant pluckers does not accept canola. That was a bozo move. We'll just blame the hired help, and I don't know what else to do. Isn't that what bosses do? Blame the hired help. Maybe I'll head down the hill. I think it's closest if I go this way to get to storage. That was a blooper. Oh well. Anyway, I've been talking about writing to this guy who's in the prison system and kind of musing out loud about prison and how to help these fellas in there if they can be. And I mentioned last time talking to someone who'd worked in the system and had never witnessed anybody changing their life patterns, if you will. No reformation happening. Just straight up evil, frankly, to give it a term. And I think at the tail of the last one, I started talking about my own personal worldview as a Christian, and the book Christians try to live by, or what we're supposed to, is the Bible, which documents, especially in the first part of it, a lot of the old Jewish law that they lived by, hundreds and thousands of years ago. And maybe some would say, well, all those things are outdated. They no longer apply. Well, I guess people can say what they want. I think the Bible's an eminently practical book, personally speaking. But one interesting, I don't know if it's an anomaly or if it just isn't talked about, is in the old Jewish law, I don't see any mention at all of prisons. None. What you do see in their laws, and obviously the things that would be commented on in their laws are going to be different from, modern day life. Some things are the same. If you took another person's life, committed murder, well, then your life was taken. I think that's how it was. And I know everybody has probably heard the phrase eye for eye, tooth for tooth. And, maybe thinking of it in those terms sounds especially harsh. Eye for eye, you mean if someone gouged out someone's eye, the penalty was you gouge out their eye? Well, I think that's kind of what was intended, or what that phrase means. Let me try to speed this up a little bit. And actually, I think if you study history, a lot of Western culture, Western nations, as I understand it, owes a lot of its system of laws. I'm not going to say all, but owes a lot of it to concepts that are in the Bible, from that old Jewish law. And one in particular is eye for eye. For the longest time, when I was growing up, I thought that just sounded brutal, draconian, in the Bible. So, that just doesn't sound right. But as I've gotten older, what I've come to realize is that little provision in there, what it means is the punishment fits the crime. If some kid stole a pack of gum from a store, well, you don't just say, okay, the kid stole, we need to execute the kid. You know, that's a death crime. Well, nobody would say that. I mean, that's just crazy talk, right? So the eye for eye approach would say, well, you need to reimburse the store for the pack of gum that you stole. You know, it would be something small that would be commensurate with whatever the kid had taken, you know, if you're measuring crimes that way. And if it's a very serious crime, then the penalty is very serious. And like I say, it wasn't until I was older that I came to understand, you know, kind of what the at meant, or what the at provision was for, kind of in the Jewish law system. So, and like I say, I'm not here to say I have tons of answers. You know, I've trying to be transparent what my worldview is. So, well, and you know that the Jewish system, maybe one other thing that's interesting, you know, some may say, well, yes, there's jails mentioned in the Bible, and that's true. You know, I think I remember hearing about them, particularly like in the New Testament, where like the Romans had a prison system. Maybe even the Jews had a prison system at some point. I really don't know. And I don't know what they have today over there. But it's just interesting that in their early system of law, which was delivered to them by God, there was no provision for a prison. At least none that I'm aware of. Maybe someone listening to this will um, tell me where there was, and educate me. I'd appreciate it if someone did, actually. um, I've read the Bible several times through, but you know, my knowledge and is limited on it, so I'm just going off the best of what I know. So they didn't really have a jail or nothing more than really temporary, as I understand it. You know, one system they had, which again, I think our system of law kind of bases it off of, is the concept of innocent until proven guilty. You know, they had in their, through the land of Israel, there were what they call cities of refuge. There were 6 of them throughout the land, and any time somebody did a crime, especially a capital crime, you know, where the law said, you know, if you do this, you are going to die. So I think one example that I'm aware of in the law was, you know, let's say you're chopping wood and you have an axe and you're chopping wood with your neighbor or something, and the axe head accidentally comes off and it hits your neighbor in the head and kills him. Now, the guy whose axe handle it came off of, had no intention of killing his neighbor. It was flat out an accident. But if there's nobody there to prove it, or, you know, and if the family hears about it, they may come after you to kill you. So, because the law said that's what they could do. You know, you had taken their family member's life, and according to the law, well, if you take a life, you need to give it, eye for eye. But that wasn't the only principle in the law. You know, so what this person would do is, like I say, especially in the case of a capital crime, is he would flee, basically run, uh, get on a horse or whatever, to get to one of these cities of refuge. And these cities were set up, and I don't know where he would go, or she, you know, once they got to these, if they kept him in some kind of temporary form of incarceration, or, yeah, just don't know those particular details. But the whole purpose of it was for the elders of the town. It says elders, but I assume it means judges or that kind of thing. Oops. Now, how do I change it? I don't know. There we go. Let me get back to dropping a swath. Get him hired. Now I need to go deal with this guy. And you know what? Since it's going to Stonehenge, 43. Oh, 43 last time was sold. What are the prices doing? Yeah, Barney's coming down. You know what? I'm gonna put That's what I'm going to load. I will take this down to storage, but the barley that comes off of 43, we'll send a pheasant over there and sell it while it's at a high point. That way we can hedge things a little bit. Most of the other barley I'm putting in storage to sell after harvest. I think I did this last time just to generate a little bit of revenue. You know, I look at my numbers up there and I'm at negative 15 already again, just the cost of doing harvest, various things here, so I'll do that. But at these cities of refuge, the job of the elders was to examine the case and to gather facts, details to have to determine the truth of the matter. And at least that's my understanding of it. Now, I don't know what kind of a trial they had. I don't know if there was such a thing as an attorney, you know, or cross-examination, or all those things that, you know, we're all used to seeing in a modern court of law, some of those kinds of things. Maybe those were in there. But honestly, I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels, but sometimes it feels like in the court system that if you have enough money and you can hire a good attorney, it doesn't matter what the truth is. That you can get yourself out of trouble if you have the right attorney who can twist and is colorful at how they use the language, can make a jury swoon, can convince a judge or a newspaper reporter to where they make you seem like a Boy Scout when maybe you've just committed murder. Now, there's only so much as to how, you know, you can put lipstick on a pig, like they say, but it's still a pig. So there's maybe only so much they can do. Now, let me see. Will you find your way? Yes. All right. And are you finding your way? I think he is. Or she. Nope. He's a he. And he's gonna be ready to offload at some point here. Keep an eye. Oh yeah, that guy's coming up the back. Or does he come up the back way? I almost think he does. Maybe he comes out this area right over here, so it's good the combine is reaching it. We can open a strip up so our guy can get out in the field. Take a picture. And I think I'm gonna zip back to make sure Petey gets up in the field. Good job. Always a challenge outside round. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. I'm gonna stop him there. We're gonna go to our combine, and I'm just gonna back him up because I think the field kind of hits the fence. We'll run over a little bit of crop, but I think it's for the best. So like I was saying a little bit ago, sometimes, like I say, I get the feeling that if criminals have, or if you have enough money, if you're rich and famous, you play by a different set of rules. And that's probably been true from the beginning of time. Money turns heads. You're able to do and buy things that the general population can't because you have leverage. that gets people's attention. Not necessarily in a good way. And then there's other times where, it feels like a case is decided a certain way for political reasons or those kinds of things. Maybe we've all had our musings on that. And again, I don't know what to say about all that. With all of its flaws, I am thankful for the jury system that we have. I mean, I can't think of a better way to do it. So it is kind of what it is, even if it's flawed. But I would say one interesting thing about the Jewish system, and I don't think don't get me wrong, I don't think for one moment they applied it perfectly either. Because, they were criticized a lot of times for some of the very human traits that we all have, and to where they too would suspend justice for the wrong reason, just like, we have too, or Western nations have done this before too, which is wrong. Um, so, but, I mean, they were handed a system that I think put truth above that. And that's, to me, the interesting thing about their system is, I don't know what kind of a trial they had or how they proved innocence or guilt. Maybe there was, it says elders, so maybe that was the jury was this group of Israelites, and they tried to determine what the truth of the matter was. And to me, sometimes I almost think that's like one of the first casualties in a court of law. But what do I know? I sit here and talk. I'm not an attorney. But, I think of the job of a defense attorney. Sometimes I don't think the defense attorney is necessarily interested in what the truth is unless it helps their client. And, maybe they say sometimes, well, it's my job to make sure he or she gets the best possible defense or whatever. And, I get that. If they're entitled to it under law, whatever. But I gotta say, I'm pretty interested in the truth. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? We can agree maybe they're entitled to a good defense, but I'd still like the truth to prevail. So, I don't know, I'd probably make a horrible defense attorney, because I think the first question out of my mouth for a potential client would be, well, did you do it? And if the answer is yes, that's going to change the whole approach to what kind of defense I'm going to be willing to give, because I'd want the truth to prevail. And if you did a crime, well, own up to it. That's so hard for the rest of us to do, even when we're not in jail. It is so hard, it seems, for all of us to take responsibility for our actions. Whether it's the proverbial deadbeat dad who participates in creating children but then doesn't want to take care of them. There's all sorts of examples that maybe could be given. Now, did I get myself stuck again? Well, we'll blame it on course play. Can I back up? No. Can I go forward? No. Alright. We gotta do a little teleport here. We'll stick him up on top. So I don't know, I guess based on my worldview, truth matters, and I would like to believe it matters to everybody, but I don't know, maybe to some people it doesn't, or only when it fits their agenda. I don't know. It just seems like the truth can get so clouded in. No need to go back there. Move combine assignment. This probably isn't going to work unless I have him come all the way out here. Now can you find it? Drive now. Fingers crossed. Down the road you go. Oh yeah, hit the post on the way out. Yep. Probably all depends on the angle you hit it. Oh, for goodness sakes. Is that good enough? Will he go? I think he's going. Maybe? Kinda? Sorta? Alright, we'll take off the... And like I say, I don't claim to have all the answers. Anybody else that says they do, I think I discount them. I don't believe them. You know, these are problems or issues societies have worked on a long time. Some systems seem to handle certain things better than others. But the fact is, these problems remain, and I don't think there's any of us that want to live in a country or a society where crime is rampant. You know, whenever we go to purchase something, you know, if it's 5 pounds of steak, well, by George, we want to make sure that we receive 5 pounds exactly. You know, nobody would be happy with just 4.5, but while we pay for 5. But by the same token, what kind of a merchant are we? You know, if when we sell stuff, do we treat our customers fairly? I mean, it works both ways in everything. You know, if we want a good society and we want all these good things, it kind of begs a question, well, what kind of people are we? Are we good people or are we bad people? You know, if that's kind of where I say just muse out the question, does truth matter? I think it does, because if it doesn't, well, we're just asking for a really corrupt society. You know, maybe if truth doesn't help us this time, next time we're in trouble and the truth would help us, someone else may say, well, the truth doesn't matter. So it either does or it doesn't. And however society makes its laws and determines what is right and wrong, you know, within any group of people, well, some will end up in prison, like this other man I've kind of been talking about. Others won't. And what makes that difference? You know, some say, well, it's unjust laws, unfair, whatever. Who am I to say whether they are or whether they aren't? I mean, it's like you need an agreed upon set of principles in any nation as to the rules you're going to live by, and they need to be fairly applied to everybody. Oh yes, look at me driving right on through that vehicle. I love it. To have the ambiance of cars without the nuisance of cars. So what do all of you think about jails, the system? Maybe you think I'm all wet. Maybe not. Maybe I don't have my facts totally right. Does anybody? All I know is I want to try to help this man. Maybe it won't make a difference. Maybe it will. But even if it doesn't, I'll at least be able to say I tried. And maybe that's about all we can do, is to try to help someone else, one person at a time. So anyway, I'll quit pontificating. My timer says I still have time to go, but I think I started my timer a little bit late, so I have a feeling I'm already over 30 minutes, but I honestly don't know. So I'll wait till the tractor gets out of the trees here. And then I'll quit job owning it all of you and let you go about your day. And I hope it's a good day. Thank you for stopping by to watch Harvest on Gelvin Valley one more time. And I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.